Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today, I thought I'd sit down and tell you guys Jude's birth story since his birthday is next week. I see a lot of these videos of like moms talking about like their experience during childbirth after they have their babies, or you know, like people film it and like put it on YouTube. Don't tip the camera over. I feel like my experience is kind of different because I have C-sections, and I think a lot of people just assume that a C-section is like, you know, easy breezy. They cut you open, pull the baby out, and like that's it, that it's like routine, but it's not. I've had 3 and they were all completely different, so it'd probably make more sense to go in order, starting with Evan and then ending with Jude, but Jude's birthday is coming up, so we're gonna start with him. So Jude was a scheduled C-section, meaning that like my doctor picked a date that worked for him, worked for me, and I just had to show up at the hospital that day. So that was May 18th. I had to be there at 9 in the morning. You have to go in a couple hours before your surgery so they can go through everything and get you hooked up to IVs and get you on the monitors and all of that stuff, because even though you're having a C-section, they still monitor the baby until you go in for surgery, and I think even during surgery. So I get there, I get all checked in, super nervous because I hate surgery. I've had, including Jude, I believe I've had 6 now. So I was like really panicked, and then I also developed a fear of like needles just before I had Jude, which I never had before. The nurse comes in and gives me my IV. She put it in, and I think my vein rolled or collapsed. Either way, I like passed out. They had to put oxygen on me, and we had to put it in my other arm, which was really annoying because they went to put it in my left arm, which is easier because you use your right hand for everything, but it didn't work in my left one, so they had to put it in my right, which was really hard because the IV machine was on the left-hand side of me, so they had to like take the cord and put it behind me, so that was really annoying. But after that, I kind of just sat there and waited. My surgery was scheduled for like 11 or 11:30. That time comes around, my doctor is not there. I was completely fine with that. I was in no hurry whatsoever to go back and have surgery. So my nurse came in and like updated me. My doctor was actually delivering a couple of other babies that day at a different hospital, so he was a little busy. The anesthesiologist came in and talked to me, and we made a game plan of like how everything was gonna go, asked you a bunch of questions. I let him know that I have to have like a high dose of anesthesia for it to work on me. So if I don't, then I feel everything. Like the dentist, surgery, any of that, like I have to have a high dose, and I expressed my concerns to him that I am terrified that I am going to feel the surgery, because that has happened and it's not fun. So, you know, he assured me that everything was going to be okay and whatnot. My doctor finally comes and we get everything ready to go. This time it was kind of weird because I got to walk to the OR, and usually they take you like on your hospital bed and then they transfer you. But I got to walk and get on like the operating table by myself and everything. Anyways, I got in there and they get me ready for a spinal tap, because when you have a C-section, they do a spinal tap instead of a epidural. So my doctor comes in after that. Well, they like drape a thing up, and then the doctor comes in with a nurse and a resident, and they start counting all the tools and everything, and I'm laying there freaking out. My doctor double checks that I am completely numb, and I ask him about 100 times if I am. I'm like, you can literally like taser me, just make sure I'm numb. Like, just, I don't want to feel it. So I was numb. They started the surgery. I was panicking, trying to stay calm. But everything goes good. I don't remember with Evan and Ellie a nurse doing this, but with Jude, a nurse came up and she's like, I have to push on your stomach. I think it helps the baby like get out. I don't know, but she came up and pressed on my stomach and it hurt. Not like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a lot of pressure and it did not feel good. But he came out and was completely fine, crying and everything. He was so mad. Evan didn't cry when he was born. He was breathing, but he didn't cry. Like, he didn't care that he was born. He's like, what's up? I'm here. Ellie like cried for like a minute, but as soon as they had put her on my chest, she was fine. Jude came out and they took him and cleaned him off. He did swallow a ton of amniotic fluid, so I didn't get a hold of him for a while. In the OR, I didn't get a hold of him at all because the nurse was just like constantly like suctioning. He was born with hair. I was concerned that he was going to be a little baldy, but he had hair. And he's actually smaller than what my doctor thought because I was measuring big. I was like, I'm going to have like a 9-10 pound baby. He was 7 pounds and 6 ounces, so not very big. He was 21 or 20, 21? He was either 20 or 21 inches. I don't remember, but he was like a longer baby. So I think maybe that's why I was measuring big, is he was just kind of long. But immediately after Jude came out and they took him, the anesthesiologist stayed up by my head the whole time. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm gonna barf. And so they immediately got me like a little barf bag and I threw up in it. And this happens to me every time I have surgery. I get sick from the anesthesia. It's pretty common. And so I was like throwing up in the OR. Usually it does not happen that fast. It's usually once it starts to wear off, but it was like immediately and I was super sick. I was throwing up the entire time. I was getting stitched together and it was not fun. But they stitched me up and put Jude on my chest and wheeled me out towards my room. Oh gosh. Just before I got in my room, I was like outside of the door. The OR wasn't too far from my room, but we were just outside of the door and I threw up on Jude. I threw up on my baby before my baby even got a chance to throw up on me. I felt so bad, but like, I don't remember if it was the nurse or Eric or whoever was holding like the barf bag for me. They didn't get it all the way under my chin, so everything just went down like all over me, all over Jude. I felt so bad, but I was like also just like so sick. I felt like I was like not quite all there. Anyways, they get me in my room. My family's there. I think Eric's family is there. What? You want to open the door? There you go. And everybody got to see little Jude. I was talking to the nurse because I literally was nonstop throwing up, and I know this is really gross, and I'm sorry. But I could not stop throwing up, and so she gave me this weird medication in my IV that's supposed to stop the puking, and a side effect of that was like a panic attack. So that was really fun because I like instantly started having a panic attack, and I don't know if it's like a normal reaction or not to this medication because I've never had it before, never even heard of it. But I could not keep my eyes open. Everybody thought I was like unconscious, like asleep, but I was completely coherent to what was going on. I could hear everybody, but my eyes felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds. Like I could not open my eyes for the life of me, and it sucked. And I felt really anxious, and I still was throwing up. That medicine didn't do anything but give me a panic attack, which did not help that I could not open my eyes. I was like, cool, like I'm going to go blind or something. I don't know. It was not a good time. And that, oh gosh, that medicine lasted forever. It was about 8 hours of that, of not being able to open my eyes. And I mean, I was holding Jude on my chest and like trying to nurse him and everything, all while like I could open my eyes, but it was like this, and it was only for a split second. But yeah, 8 hours of that. I could not stop throwing up. I went through like 6 bags of fluids, and they gave me like Zofran a couple of times, which is a medication to stop you from throwing up. Like the nurses were concerned because I couldn't keep anything down. They brought me like crackers. I couldn't keep water down. I was having like 0 like urine output into my catheter, which was not a good sign. I was severely dehydrated, even with all of the bags of IV fluid. I would say about 12 hours after having Jude, I was finally able to keep some water and some crackers down, which was good. The nurse was like okay about that. Like, oh, they were not happy with me because they're like, you need to eat crackers, you need to drink water. And I was like, you know what, I am, it's not working. I don't know what to do. But eventually it went away. I was starving and they brought me breakfast and I was so happy. But I finally felt like so much better, and I got to really look at Jude and hold him and love him. He was still like choking on amniotic fluid while we were in the hospital, but the nurse showed Eric how to like suction him to get it out. So that was like kind of scary. He did that for like, I don't know, the first couple of days, but after 2 days in the hospital, we were able to come home. I most definitely should have stayed the 3 to 4 days that they wanted me to, but I just got no sleep like that first night that I was there. And then the second night I didn't really get much sleep either, and I was just so tired. All I wanted to do was come home to sleep, because in the hospital the nurses have to come in every couple of hours and give you medication and check your vitals and like make sure you're healing and ready to go home and everything. And I was just tired of it, so I left after 2 days. I definitely should have stayed the 3 to 4 days. I honestly think having like another day or so in the hospital would have made my recovery at home better. Also, because I was sick and couldn't get up very soon after having him. Usually after the anesthesia wears off, they want you to get up and walk because it helps the healing process after having a C-section. Because I was severely dehydrated and everything, they didn't take my catheter out like right away, so I couldn't get up and walk around. So that also kind of made my like recovery after having Jude harder. I would say with Jude, it took me around 8 weeks before I could like walk around and not be in pain. It was a pretty rough like recovery after having him, and not a very fun experience being sick for like 12 hours. But he came out and he was healthy, and honestly that's all that matters, is that he came out and was okay. And now he's gonna be 1 soon. Like, I cannot believe like next week he's gonna be a year old. It's so crazy. I feel like this entire year has gone by so fast. I know like my birth story is not like the average story that most people tell, and I know mine was kind of gross because I was super sick, but that's just how it was for me. People who think that having a C-section is the easy way out when it comes to having a kid are completely wrong. Like, it is super hard. And I watched my sister have a baby vaginally, and that seemed, I don't know, she said it was easy. I thought it looked terrifying and hard. Giving birth, no matter how you do it, is hard, but it's so worth it, huh? I'm so glad I got you out of it. Anyways, guys, that's it for my birth story of Jude, the almost birthday boy. So big now. Yeah. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.